Good morning, Nerd Criteria. This is Isabelle and
Rachel, otherwise known as I'm going to pronounce your nickname in the thing about 50 billion different ways. But Neko, I think is how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Yes, Neko.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yep. Or Neko.
I have switched to Isabelle just because I noticed nobody uses my real name.
And I love your real name. It's really pretty.
That's why I've changed it. Let's see how long it takes to take on. And then, of course, we've got Rachel, who some people don't even know is a Rachel because she doesn't have Rachel in her nickname anymore.
I know. It doesn't fit in my nickname right now with the wedding countdown. So, by the way, do you like the titles that I gave us?
Yes.
Yes.
I do like being a German gorilla. So welcome to the Nerd Criteria City Census Analysis 2021.
How many do you want hands growing out of your chest? I can't talk.
Well, most people said no for some weird reason.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
I mean, I
said yes.
So here's the thing. I'm in the medical profession, and we technically do have hands growing out of our chest because your hands are your arms.
There was how do you correctly pronounce it? GIF?
Oh, GIF.
At some point, I discovered this GIF of somebody saying Guten Morgen, which is good morning in German. And this is a woman, and she's got her normal arms at the side, and then she's got 2 additional arms coming out of her sweater / jumper, whatever you call it,
yes.
and slapping her face. And Ellie really liked this really liked this GIF. So she shared it quite often. So at some point, the question came up, which was then pinned. Do you want hands growing out of your chest? It is meant as additional hands.
Yes. And then,
which is why I answered yes, and everyone else is wrong.
And I can't remember exactly what I answered, but we went into...
You probably said no.
The majority of people said no.
And they're all wrong.
Apparently. And some people were on the fence.
Why this question was in it, we pinned the question in General 1. And then as I was doing the questions for the city census, I went through the pins and collected some of the questions or moments which were pinned with the idea of being in the city census.
Yes. Okay. So we're back to how tall are you in centimeters?
Yeah. Okay, so in case people don't know how to read this chart, because I had problems, it's very confusing.
So on the bottom, you have nerd height in increments of 10 centimeters. And then on the side is the total number of nerds that answered for that height.
So you have 10 people who say they're 170 centimeters tall.
Yes.
Which is tall. So on the right-hand side, we have people who gave some kind of special answers.
Yes.
So one person is 3 buses tall.
And I don't know how big these buses are. Or are they buses like USB buses? So like universal serial buses.
Oh, okay. And this is something which really confused us. So the one at the bottom, the 20 plus 47J, what on earth does the J stand for?
Oh, well, there's some people who are just 55 pi.
Pi what? Oh, maybe they mean actual pies. Stacked on top of each other? The nice person put it in pixels, so...
How do people not know how tall they are? Like,
I have no idea. It's in my ID card. I have to have my height in there.
I feel like as Americans, we talk about it a lot. It's just something that comes up in general conversation with people.
Don't you have weather, people?
Do you want to be shorter or taller, as in either of those options, or do you like the height that you are?
106 people want to either be shorter or taller.
Yes.
Which is a big amount of people, but then we have also 65 people who are really positive and like, nope, I'm the perfect height.
Yes.
Go, people.
And then 20 people were like, no. There's no.
One could argue that the no and I am the perfect height is the same, but...
You could. Although you could say that you aren't the perfect height, but you don't want to be shorter or taller. Like you could say, no, I'm a terrible height, but I
like my height.
I like my height.
Well, the questions don't have to make sense. This is not the serious one.
This is not the serious one. This is the silly one.
Yeah. we get to have non-logical questions in here.
Yep.
So this is again a very confusing chart. It's about when is your birthday.
I really liked the fact that there were 3 people who had a birthday on 11/24 of 2003, and then Neko, Isabelle, the
Isabelle.
German gorilla over here was like, some people answered it twice, but 9 months prior to November is Valentine's Day.
So on the right hand, we have people who either misunderstood the question and thought we meant in that year that they answered when is their birthday, or who, because it's the city census, gave us a city answer. Because 3 people were born on a date that never existed. The year 0 never existed. Yes, and there's also somebody the 25th of December. 000. I think they kind of want to say that they're Jesus.
Oh,
I just found that one. We also have really cool. We've got some time travelers.
How's the future? Does it look brighter?
Yeah. Are you Minnesotan, German, or a disgrace?
So
most people who answered this question said they were a disgrace.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
Yes, we do have a lot of disgraces. But we have a considerable amount of Minnesotans, which I think is fantastic. And I actually think we've gained more Minnesotans since.
But Rachel, it could just be people who identify as Minnesotan, but aren't actually from Minnesota and have never been to Minnesota.
Minnesota is not a gender.
For this question, you could say, okay, I'm more. Go more in that direction. It's a style of life, not a gender. It's a style of life. We need more Germans. Because this question came to be when we discussed that there were so many Minnesotans joining, and then I was like, probably, we need more Germans.
And you guys still outnumber the Minnesotans, but we are we're encroaching on you.
And next year the question is probably going to be something with Indians because they've been joining en masse. Yeah, we did need some more people from that time zone direction Asia, because it's mostly been Europeans and Americans.
Yep. And the representation is fantastic. We need some Africans now.
I think we have one person from South Africa.
Okay.
I kind of remember that.
I know
one person from an entire continent is a bit sad. This question needs some explanation, and some people who are not from Europe might not know this, but there is something called a toaster license. Yes, so it's kind of like a driver's license. So if you want to use a toaster, you have to have a license. So here you can see A, and that's the normal one. So you can use one toaster, and it's like 80% of people have this toaster license. And quite often, depending on where you live, you can just get this while you buy your toaster. The next one, this is going to be confusing because it's on the left, it's green, and in the graphic thing, it's red. Yes. But if you're colorblind, it probably looks the same. So that's, you can have more than 3 toasters. 3 toasters already sounds a lot because who on earth has room for that? But on tier 3, not 3C, you can have up to 20 toasters. And then Rachel and I was thinking, who on earth has 20 toasters?
And I brought up people who run like an avocado toast shop because they need to toast a lot of bread.
And they need a special license for that. That's totally sensible. And then D, which is red on the left and on the right is green. It means you can have as many toasters as you want. You can do before that you can like modify your own toasters and create your own toasters. The very interesting part here is that you can pass the laws for toaster licensings, but the really cool thing is you are involved in cutting-edge toaster technology.
Bread in the fridge.
I'm just going to say 68% if you are wrong, or either that or you live in a big family. Because if you like me and you have to buy 500 grams of bread because that's the only size they sell it in, you have to put it in the fridge, otherwise it gets moldy.
In the United States, our bread is not sold by weight. It is just sold by loaf. We just have a standard size.
But also your loaves are like these weird toaster square shapes. It's not round.
Because our bread is made in a loaf pan. And so that's why...
Yeah, and ours is freeformed in Germany. I mean, it's probably at some point was a law that it has to be 1 kilo or half a kilo. So if you live alone, you need to either freeze most of your bread or put it in the fridge, even if it goes hard, because that way it doesn't go moldy. Are humans sociocultural? We quite often have this discussion, and then we try try to classify food. And then at some point, okay, what are humans? More than half said we are calzones. What do we think about that, Rachel?
I can get with it.
Calzones are completely enclosed, in my opinion.
Sometimes calzones have like slits put into them, so
Yeah,
they
but they're
do have
not natural.
A
That's
calzone
man-made.
isn't natural because the person's making it.
The correct answer here is, because we both agree it's also not sushi, is what is wrong with you people? And I think we could put what is wrong with you people for every single question.
How high are your P levels?
Rachel's very amazed that 8.6% of you said your P levels were bursting.
No, UTIs are a thing. The more if
don't
you
happen
hold
that
your bladder, UTIs will happen.
I mean, and the low people probably just went to the toilet. High probably could go to the toilet in the next half an hour to 10 minutes. And medium probably has a couple of hours.
I love this fact because your body is constantly creating pee.
So you're constantly peeing yourself. It's just collected in the bladder. Moles are one of the mammals that are constantly excreting urine. So they don't collect it in the bladder. They just constantly leak in urine wherever they go. And so they always are leaving like a pee trail. Probably also shouldn't just pee themselves.
Well, I mean, if it's
just hold it in, people. Just hold it in.
But they don't have sphincters to hold it in. All this talk about pee makes me feel like I have to pee. Do you wear outdoor shoes inside your home?
Luckily, 67% of you have said no. Thank you. You're all correct. The rest of you.
So in Germany does these things, at least some parts of Germany does these things called house slippers, and I think it's the most wonderful and amazing thing.
I mean, my parents wear slippers, but I'm more of a sock person, and if my feet are cold, I just put on a second pair of socks, or very thick socks. It depends, people. I can guess, like, when they have guests over, or just in certain parts of the house.
Yeah.
Or like if you just have to go in to get something really quick, I then do. But I normally have all of my outdoor shoes. They're right by the door. But the yes people are just wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Shaking my head.
Where should we found Nerdfighteria Island?
We didn't put all the answers here, so I cherry picked this. So 5 people of you luckily said Mars. We are already on Mars. The Perseverance Mars rover, it has a little plaque with names on it, and the Nerdfighteria Discord is one of the names listed. Also 3 people said the moon. I do like the moon. That's a good place to be. And of course we have the wonderful in your pants joke.
Although I think that we determined that it would get a little crowded.
And then kind of a warm place, not too hot.
There are 2 of you who just want to be far away from other people. Miss Isabelle is very excited that we're going to be in space. I'm not so thrilled about the space part, so I decided that I'm going to be an ambassador, your point of contact on Earth. Favorite moment of 2020. And so for people who can't see this, in the background is a flaming 2020. Yeah. Someone's was that one time I had a crush on one of the mods. That was a nice time. Would never say who though, but we'll never know.
We're all very nice. We're all really nice people.
Yes.
Except Apple.
Poor Apple.
He knows I love him.
When Hamilton went on Disney Plus, not even gonna lie.
Yeah, and I do remember this because there was so much talk going on in general too, that there was a discussion happening that they wanted a Hamilton channel. So we made the musical channel, and then Rachel checked in the musical channel what you are talking about. You are still talking about Hamilton. I can't say, as it's highly not safe for work, but I consider it a milestone.
Yes.
Now, I am pretty sure this means that somebody had not safe for work practices, like not having the ladder secured.
I think what they did is they finally accomplished using their swivel chair with wheels on it to get something off the top shelf.
Yeah, that's probably it. So I remembered this, winking at Indocs. Again, happened in General too. A lot of great things happen in that General.
And I'm so bad at leaving General 1.
I don't know why we started it, but somebody did like a wink, and then Indocs was like, oh no, this kills me. And then a lot of people either filmed themselves or took a picture of themselves winking. And then sadly, Indocs died of that. There's also a gravestone. It should now be in old General pins. So the Indocs you will see on the surface actually a ghost.
Making a cardboard house for the cat, which I picked only because I also did that. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, the time Stabby Dog killed me and then I was resurrected. Good times. I did not like Stabby Dog when we first introduced him, or her, whatever gender Stabby Dog is.
Yeah, it could be both, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's non-binary.
Anyway, when Stabby took, I was like, nah, it's a bit aggressive. It comes over weird. And now I'm like, no, it's perfect. It just brings this certain threatening, but on a cute level. What's the best snow person creature you ever made or wanted to make? So there's some really cool things here. One person doesn't even believe in snow. Other people don't have snow or what is snow. So we just those are out of the way. Somebody made a snow earth or wanted to make a snow earth that is the same size as our earth.
Yes, which how? But okay. It would be
It could
cool.
be in space.
It could be in space. It could be.
Or we're making an ice age and
Yes.
just turn the whole earth into snow.
There were a lot of snow possums because
Yes,
possums
because
were
we
a
like
thing.
possums.
Yes, possums were and still are a thing.
Don't forget to be possum. We have this wonderful person just asking, skiing?
Yes. Skiing? Question mark. I was mentioning that in Minnesota we get a lot of snow. And there are these guys every single year that make gigantic snow sculptures. So like you can see them with it. They're taller than I am.
So they could make a 20-foot tall duck.
They totally could.
So two
Perfect.
people made a caterpillar.
I know. I suppose caterpillars, it makes sense. They're kind of like
Because they're
snowmen,
round.
but on the side. They're sideways
Yeah.
snowmen.
I always wanted to make a Dalek out of snow.
On a scale of 0 to 5, with 5 as the best, where do you rank Hamilton? And
I've never watched.
yeah, you've only made it through 10 minutes. I love it. I've seen it multiple times. See, what I really like about Hamilton, and granted, it's not the most accurate, it brings history to kids, essentially, young adults, in a way that they are engaged and want to learn more. The fact that it does that is amazing. It's the same reason why, like, okay, Twilight, in the sense of a literary book, terrible. Like, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But it got kids to read.
It made out this whole new genre of books that were suddenly marketed towards girls.
Yes.
Because before that, a lot of these big series like Harry Potter, they thought girls like to read anyway. And so we don't need to do a lot of big franchises for girls because they read anyway. And this was like the first time something was made, especially for teenage girls. Hamilton, if that brings people either to musical or into history, then it's good. But
Yeah.
I mean, most people seem to really like Hamilton. And then there's 10 people like me who probably
have never seen
haven't watched it.
Okay, peanut butter in the fridge.
No is like 89%, which is understandable because it gets quite hard. And then it's not as spreadable.
It depends on your peanut butter.
Yeah.
When I went to Germany, peanut butter really isn't a thing over there.
It's not like, so we don't have like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I mean, some people do now eat them because they see it in American media.
Yeah.
But it's not really a very popular spread, but people do like it. It's very popular with people who do sports.
Okay. Well, and it does have a lot of protein in it.
Yeah, that's basically it. So you like eat like a spoonful before. Do you actually now have a peanut butter which should be in the fridge because it's only peanuts?
Yes.
There's no salt and no added oil and or fat, and then it does need to go in the. Or you just have a very cold kitchen, and then you don't need to refrigerate certain things.
Okay, but that is very, very cold. Like colder than people should be living in. So
well, no, it's in my pantry, so it's fine.
Okay.
My pantry isn't heated. It's supposed to be cold. Are more people putting it, doing whatever their roommate meant, or are more people putting it in the freezer? 6 responses for I keep it in the freezer, and whatever my roommate wants is also 6 responses.
There you have it. Peanut butter in the fridge. Most people don't.
Yeah.
Most people probably have.
And the freezer people are just joking.
Yeah. It is the silly census. Okay. What age were you when you last ate paint?
Typos are what makes the silly census.
That they are.
Finn was given some paints and they looked apparently delicious, and then they decided to eat some of them. And this is when this question was born. Some people are smart and have never eaten any paint. Some people then decided on that day they were going to eat paint. Solid life choices.
Yes.
We're not going to judge. And some people did it when they were younger.
What would you want to throw into a lava pool?
Neko.
I know.
I think there were 2 or 3 people who wanted to throw me into lava.
Yeah, there were more lava.
Fireworks is good.
Yeah, 2020. Yep.
Yes.
Yeet the things into the forbidden soup.
Yes, I mean all the things, just throw them into the lava. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Exactly 3 pairs of Levi's slim fit jeans. Why would you throw clothes in there? Give them to other people if you don't want them. Oh no, I'm thrown in again, Rachel. Just every person.
Only your shoe. Only your right shoe. It's supposed to be 0, I think, but it turned into an O on Hamilton.
My white shoe is also now in. I'm already in the lava, people. And again, the girl reading this.
Yes.
I'm actually not a girl, so I'm a woman.
We are the elders of the criteria mod team.
And
totally.
you? I think, Rachel, this you means the viewers who are watching the video and not us.
Some solid choices, some questionable choices. Guess how many people have filled out the main census? Originally, I was going to show this as everything. Then there were some crazy people who decided to put numbers of people that shouldn't be possible. And so the data looked like that. So then I changed it and edited it. The majority of people thought it was between such and such and such. Anywho. So, yeah.
You don't know how to read this anymore.
I don't.
Yeah, maybe Rachel would just leave the interpretation of the graphics to the viewers.
A lot of people said a lot. I don't even know how many people are in the server. Like right now, let's say at least 40. You weren't wrong.
No, yeah.
And then someone said at least 1. Once again, you are not wrong.
Yes.
This is an ever-changing question. Do you mean as of now or as of the close of the census? I can cheat either way.
And I know because I have checked the answers when we closed it. And I know that some mods have actually cheated. I think it was Apple. Apple definitely cheated.
Is butt legs. Okay, I still am firmly in no, but whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm also in a I don't care kind of point, but I'm still firmly at no.
We had this question in last year, and for this year's census, I think I got the question like 5 or 6 times. Next year, not going to be in.
What's the sock situation?
1 sock on, 1 sock off. Luckily, not that many people because what a state to live in.
I have ADHD, just in case you weren't aware. And I frequently will be doing something, and midway through said task, I forget to do it. And I've totally done the 1 sock on and 1 sock off thing.
As long as it's not a deliberate choice of people to only wear 1 sock, because that would be whoa.
Unless you only have 1 leg.
No, but then Rachel, you wouldn't have 1 sock on and 1 sock off. You have your socks. You have your sock on. You don't care about the second sock.
You would have 1 sock off because you could wear both socks on 1 foot.
But one thing I really can't do is mismatching socks.
I love mismatching socks. I never match my socks.
No, because I at some point 2 or 3 years ago I decided not to have normal boring socks anymore. So I only have like cool socks, so they fit together. Never have them not the same. It just stresses me out. I have socks which are bought in Sweden, and you get 3 single socks in a pair.
So if one wears out,
1 is for the washing machine.
Most people do matching socks. Some people do no socks at all. And some people had mismatched socks.
What would you do when life stops throwing lemons but starts throwing sulfuric acid instead?
So the first person on this, they put duck, and they actually included the little duck emoji. So
that is so good. Yeah. Must have been Simon's.
Any household mess can be resolved with enough baking soda, which in this case, yes, because baking soda is a base. So they would eventually
neutralize each other, yeah.
Yeah, but you would need a lot of baking soda.
You were saying that life hasn't been throwing sulfuric acid at me all this time.
I'm so sorry.
Depends on where you live. It's not harmful, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oops.
H2SO4, corrosive substance destructive to the skin, eyes, teeth, and lungs. Severe exposure can
Ooh.
result in death. I start ducking, I guess, and plug my nose. Sulfur's the stinky stuff, right? Yes. However, sulfuric acid does not have a smell, apparently. Write an angsty poem about how good life used to be back when life chucked lemons at me.
Life has never chucked lemons at me.
Yeah, same. I've never had a lemon thrown at me.
Someone will throw an echo.
You were getting thrown a lot.
I know.
You got
It's
thrown
remarkable, but I can fall very well. So.
And then someone said they'll make lemonade.
I'm not drinking that lemonade. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, they never said that they'd make it out of the sulfuric acid, just that they're going to make lemonade.
Of course.
Maybe it's a coping mechanism.
Like, I would make tea.
I stress bake.
If you could rid the world of an instrument, which one and why?
Oh, open responses are the bane of my existence. 6 people decided that bagpipes should be ridded of the world. No, I love bagpipes. They were meant to announce your presence in battle, not to woo your lover to sleep or something like that. Or one person said drums, which I get.
Oh, that was me.
Okay.
You want to know why I added drums?
Why?
Because it would be the instrument that would, if it was gone, would mess with so much music, because so much music includes drums. So I was like, which instrument taking it away would cause the most chaos?
That is very you.
I can understand kazoo. I can understand that.
Yeah, the kazoo, definitely. One person said Nico.
I'm not an instrument, you cannot play me.
You're an instrument of chaos.
Okay, none is a cop-out.
Yes.
Seriously.
But we had 11 people say it. Recorder is really high, which I totally get, because that is a thing in the States where they make almost everyone, except me, learn how to play the recorder. We have a lot of trumpet hate, which I love the trumpet. My dad and Mark both play trumpet, and I love it.
I mean, Vuvuzela should be higher up.
Musical, ? Torture, ? Kitchen, ? Question unclear, error occurred. I like that. I'm going to come back to the rototoms. Xylophone, so we can get rid of the letter X. Unfortunately, that is not the only word that has the letter X.
Yes, because you, weirdly enough, call Röntgenstrahlen X-rays. Why not textile instruments? Because calculators are useful. Instruments of mass destruction is a phrase, right?
It is a phrase. So this right here is what a rototom is. Okay, so this person's story. Effing rototoms, bane of my existence. Once upon a time, I was in the symphonic wind ensemble at my college. We had the good fortune to go to Mexico on tour one year. I'm a percussionist. We had to pack up all the percussion equipment and package it to travel from the Midwest, USA on a plane to Cancun. This was, as you can imagine, very difficult, and I strongly recommend never traveling on a plane with percussion instruments. Packing the timpani was never an option. The smart thing would have been for our director to pick music that uses easily transportable percussion instruments, but alas, our director wasn't ambitious and a little dumb when it comes to percussion. Several of our songs had timpani parts, including Barnum and Bailey's favorite, in which the timpani play a pretty major role. Our beloved director, upon realizing this dilemma, had us pack the rototoms instead. I don't have any way of knowing your musical knowledge, dear reader, but the only similarities between rototoms and timpani is that they are both drums that are designed to be able to be tuned during a performance, which sounds very similar. But timpani are friendly and rototoms are awful. They are also not really interchangeable. It didn't help things that our particular set were in mediocre condition. They are very top heavy, they squeak loudly when you try and tune them, and they would only stay in tune for about one song before slowly going flat. The only reason this worked even a little bit was because we had the incredible luck of having a percussionist with perfect pitch. Unlike timpani, which have a scale that you can use to help you tune them, rototoms are tuned by tuning the entire drum head and praying to a higher power. It was his job to babysit the rototoms and help us tune them in between every single song, a job which he hated because, again, rototoms are hard to tune and ours made horrible screeching noises when you tried. At the end of the tour, we told the director to never do that to us again. If I could rid the world of one instrument, it would be the rototoms. Like so many things in this world, they are a good idea in theory, but terrible in practice. Someone put another story. The oboe, that stupid forking, and they say forking, dying duck sounding instrument. Who wants an instrument that sounds like a duck being killed? I do not. One time the reed stabbed me in the mouth and I started bleeding. The bits of reed got stuck in my teeth. I was only 11. Middle school band was traumatizing. The teacher would throw markers at us and his baton at us. Which server-specific
yes.
emoji, other than pride flags, is your favorite? So,
Okay, for the people who complained that we did not allow pride flags, it's for the main reason because otherwise the top 20 would be pride flags.
yes.
I am very glad that the puff emoji is at the top.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me is
It's a
that
good
toe
one.
beans is not higher than it is.
Yeah, I use toe beans all the time.
Thankfully, the
I'm not
hands, your damn hands.
not my hands. I just added them.
I know, but they are yours.
Yeah,
Thankfully, they
so
both were got 2 votes apiece.
that's good. No, so I'm quite happy that the hug emoji is quite high up.
Yep, yep, yep.
I think that Finn made that.
Even outside of Nerdfighteria, I use Fins because I have Nitro.
I am very happy that my chaos emoji is so high up.
Yeah, people really like that one.
Also, mod abuse, I made that one.
You did. It's
From a
fantastic.
screenshot and I added it, and I also made the Scuzzy Kazoodle
Yes.
squirrel one. I added the pizza to the squirrel.
Soup. I am responsible for soup because I got tired of people telling me that ramen is not soup.
Happy John is always good because it's I mostly use it for puns.
Yes.
And I find it weird especially because when new people don't quite know how we kind of use the emoji and they were like,
yes.
they use it for different things. And I'm like, why is that? There's no pun in there. And then they're using it differently. They're using it as a friendly smile. How on earth is good morning on it and not moonward? But I think this is probably from a good morning night. As somebody who wants the emoji to stay.
So then we had the people who apparently were like, I have never and will never use an emoji. We had a few people who said stuff like that.
They are joking. The John reaction one, which one?
I know.
Is it puff emoji or is it
Happy John? I mean, there's a few of them. We have a few John emojis. The most beautiful one, I'm like, beautiful is kind of up to the beholder. The nerd fighter ones, they're all nerd fighter ones.
No, I think this person means the don't forget to be awesome salute.
The one with
the singing blue
on it. And as you can see, there's multiple blue emojis in here.
I think they probably mean the hype emoji. Is the hot dog a sandwich?
So
yes.
Everyone is pretty split on this one. It's pretty. I mean, it is almost split evenly between the 3 answers.
Yeah, it's really close. So I think I put, well, it all depends. I think I picked that one. Okay, so I think the main thing is that normally, at least for the English-speaking countries, the sandwich is always bread, filling, and another bread. So you could say that because the hot dog is cut down not quite down the middle, from the top down the middle, and then the sausage is stuffed in, and it's enclosed. You could say that's like a sandwich. But then you could also say, well, it's one piece of bread. In Germany, we often have open-faced sandwiches, I think you call them in English.
Yeah, it's a food stuff that goes in my mouth as long as it's not a Oscar Mayer wiener.
I have no idea what that is.
Probably because Europe has standards and they would never ever be able to be sold over there. Beans. I think this was a required question.
Yes.
When you only have one option, you're going to have 100% every single time.
That should be next year's silly census. Very easy to analyze.
No free text. I love it. I love it. Although I don't get to make fun graphs. Why?
So the why question doesn't have to, follow the beans question. Nobody said they were involved with each other. It could just be why in general.
Okay, outside of the US, are you guys familiar with the YMCA song?
Yes.
Okay, so someone put why, and then they put MCA as their answer. It took me a long time to figure that out.
Oh, that's so good. Let the people in the comments decide what MCA stands for. I love it. 36 people said beans back.
Yes. Not only did they say beans, but 36 people all said beans with capital letters. And I was like, nice.
Brilliant. And the no people and the because people also all write it the same?
Yes, they did.
So good. I don't know what I think. Maybe I put why not because I like answering a question with another question.
So some of the other answers.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so the way that I learned this poem is beans, beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So eat your beans with every meal. But this person put
Mm-hmm.
beans, beans. They're good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. Do you guys
I,
have a?
I kind of feel like toot, but fart is more American.
Yeah,
But I think maybe that's just the British version. Okay, someone blamed Rose.
I don't know why.
Did Rose start the bean thing?
The beans thing, it started for whatever reason, not during this last
The
the
project
live.
for Awesome before that.
Yeah, the Project for Awesome before that, and I have no clue exactly how it started.
I think Ellie and Vowel was involved.
Yeah,
We're just going to blame Rose.
yeah.
She's always at fault.
I'm choosing to believe they are green beans and not the disgrace that is baked beans. I like green
I like.
beans.
I also like baked beans. I like both of them.
I'm not a huge fan of baked beans, but I do like other more starchy beans. But I'm not a huge fan of like how we usually make baked beans. They're really sweet.
But I mean, if you have a with like sausages and bacon, then you need the kind of sweet thing to cut through all that grease.
Beans don't belong anywhere near your breakfast. Thank you very much. A lot of people said it was a required response. So a lot of people were
It had
peeved.
nothing to do with the question before.
How many bones do you have? A
So
lot of people.
interestingly,
A lot of people said, "Who's asking? What are you? A cop?"
because that's
Interesting.
the funny answer. So
Um,
this is one of the questions that was provided to me with the answers.
okay.
To whoever asked this question, this person they wanted us to put in who's asking what are you a cop. I hope they
Um,
got the answer they were looking for.
I hope so too. In case anyone's curious, adult humans they're supposed to have 206 bones in their body. When you are an infant, you have more
You have more
bones. Yes, because your bones fuse
fused
together.
together. But don't teeth count as bones?
No, no, they do not. Teeth are not bones.
Why not?
They're made out of different materials, technically, actually. Teeth are weird. They're also banned.
Only in General 1. We're not in General 1 at the moment. Also, someone lost some bones, it seemed.
And you totally can. Well, I mean, like, one, if you have your leg amputated, but
Yeah.
also, there are some people who are born with, like, vertebrae that in their spine that are fused together
Ah, so they
and stuff
count
like
as one
that.
bone. What are
Yeah.
we doing with the 12% who have no bones?
They are squids.
Blobs.
This was what are you majoring in? What are you planning on majoring in? What did you major in? So,
Yes. So
um,
we had to change this question because I remember there was some, I think it was last year,
yeah.
and someone complained or something, and then I said, it's not quite fair, so we did it so it could be all three tenses.
A lot, and I mean a lot of you out there have
Uh-huh.
no clue what in the world you want to do. And first and foremost, I want to say,
That's normal.
especially if you're in high school slash your early years of college, it's not only normal, it's totally okay.
Why is this in the city one?
I don't know exactly why it's in
I
the
did the
silly one.
census. Why don't I know this?
But you know what?
Okay.
There were people who gave us some silly answers. We had a few people who were like sandwich studies. We
Mm-hmm.
had like 5 people who said that they were going to major in toaster sciences and toasters. They're probably going for that D tier of toaster
Mm-hmm.
licenses. Um,
Probably. Oh,
Probably.
possum education sounds
Yep.
good.
We're going back to our people who are apparently immortal, and they dropped out of high school in 1895 to become a professional degreaser. For the serious answers, we had a lot of computer science majors, which is
So
not
boring.
100% surprising.
Ooh, 7 people have English. I think I count for English.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I put down.
We have a lot of math majors too.
Ooh.
In general, we had a lot of engineering people as well, but
Mm-hmm.
mechanical engineering was the most common.
I'm trying to figure out who's what, like meteorology, that has to be LC.
I think we had
Yeah.
more than one meteorology person, though. We have a bunch of smart nerds. But yeah, no, seriously, you guys, if you don't know what you want to do yet, it's totally okay.
Just study philosophy.
Or health information
Uh-huh.
management. Totally
Or
underappreciated.
yes, or if you combine the two, Sandwich studies.
With
Yes,
a minor
exactly.
in toaster sciences.
Oh
If
God.
you chop off your legs, but you still have your butt, have you chopped off your whole leg?
Okay, why on earth was this question open?
Also, I'm pretty sure that this was a required question.
Cool. We have 43 people who said yes. We have 37 people percent who said no. That's together, that's 70-80%. A lot of you have, written a very special answer, which we would love to go into.
About
But we don't have
39
time.
people. I'm totally over the is butt legs question. I'm done with it.
What kind of shark are you? Left shark, right shark, or Blauhai?
Okay,
For the
so
people who don't know, Blauhai is the IKEA shark, which has
right.
brought us a lot of joy.
I feel like more people know about the IKEA shark though than left shark and right shark. When did that Katy Perry performance happen? It was like at least a decade ago, I feel like.
But it's so memeable.
It is, but at the same time, a lot of our server members a decade ago were at most in primary school.
The IKEA shark has brought a lot of us very much, happiness and joy.
Yeah,
It's just
no.
such a good shark. And if IKEA is listening, we are open to a sponsorship.
Yes. I really like the IKEA shark. I can't pronounce it, but I like it.
Yeah.
I still don't really know exactly how it came about. I kind of want one. And we have an IKEA
You
here.
can.
So,
Next
but
one.
we also in general we have a lot of IKEA sharks in the server, which is not a surprise.
You know,
And we have a lot of lefties in the shark world too.
well, the left shark was just dancing better.
Would you be interested in obtaining some Oreos for Possum?
Okay, so Rachel, I have to ask, did you know about this Oreo for possum?
Okay, like I knew about it in the sense of I knew it was going on. I still have no clue how exactly it came about or what it's all about.
Do you want some background on the Oreos for possum?
Sure.
Okay, so you know how we often like to share memes?
Yes.
So someone shared this Oreo for possum, the normal picture, and then I think like 5 messages underneath, someone else, and I think it was Rowan, also posted the picture. And then somebody was like, "Yeah, I just posted that like 10 minutes ago." It was only like 5 messages in between. And then, of course, being the really nice people we are, we all posted the same image and said, "Oh, it reminds me of this." And have you seen this? So that's how it came to be. And then we made our own versions, which you can all see if you type in $DFTBP. Don't forget to be possum. But
Go.
most people were, I guess, they wanted.
Yes, most people would. I have some extra Oreos, although I tend to try to not to feed the local wildlife. I'm glad that you guys are willing to give Oreos to our possums. What's your
Okay.
pandemic hobby? Baking sourdough bread, knitting, juggling, woodworking, online shopping, comma, ellipses.
So I mean, it's a good question because a lot of us have picked up some new hobbies.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we've got people who getting into increasingly weird discussions about what is or not is a bone. This could be related to the
To the
question
teeth.
in the census.
So I remember this discussion. We were talking about teeth.
That was with me.
No, like it happened before as well.
What happened before?
Yeah.
Oh, lots of people have been doing baking. So we've got one person who's done pretzels, we've got cookies,
Yep.
and baking, looking after a fluffy friend. Okay, no, they're not. That's not what they're baking. Okay.
Nope, but they are looking after a floofy friend and lying face
That's
down
always
on the
good.
floor. Hopefully not all at once.
You can if you're just waiting for the stuff to bake. Who's
We had
been playing GameCube?
Oh, I don't know who, but solid choice. Who pinged me? 1 second. Caps lock. We're recording. No interruptions. Walrus, can this go in the recording? Well, it is at the moment.
Video games are a great way to distract yourself.
They are. I
Yeah.
love them. I love them.
Juggling. I
Juggling.
know who's been juggling.
Yep.
I think it was.
I'm not sure. I feel like few people have tried juggling. 'Cause I think Walrus was juggling, or he knew how to juggle.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one, discovered my passion for true crime. I hope they mean the podcasts. Oh, I remember someone was sharing their process of the chainmail in creative endeavors.
Oh, okay. So someone actually was like making. That's
Yes,
really, really cool.
I am pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that I saw that.
Okay. What do you prefer,
Hey,
trains, or buses? So, got a lot of train
and the
people.
trains have won.
What is the difference between a train and a tram?
A tram runs basically on the normal road. There's just some tracks let into the road, so you can have like cars driving over the tracks. So they're more integrated into the public transport system of a town. So where the shopping areas is, while trains in bigger cities are normally underground
Oh, okay.
or outside and then more long distance. So trams are normally like bigger cities inside. So I think that's the correct definition.
Because
People will probably correct me in the chat if I'm wrong.
oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and trams are normally a bit more narrow than a train,
Yeah.
but they're a bit thinner. But they're cool. They're really cool.
I don't know what I put. I do like trains. I like riding on
I
trains.
like trams. I think I put tram. I don't like buses.
I don't mind
Always
them.
smell weird.
Well, okay, so ours didn't. We had really clean buses.
No, I mean not dirty smell. I mean like the upholstery has a weird stuffy smell. People in that criteria like public transport.
Yeah, they do. I'm very pro public transport. It's hard to implement into our existing infrastructure.
If you were to chaotically rename any channel, which would you rename and what would you change it to? So we
So,
have General Moon Pants to the Spillover Zone. Eh,
which, okay, it makes sense. I understand that one because that's what General too often gets treated as.
The moment we use it for things like memes that we want to discuss for a while, like the Suez Canal and
Mm.
the Jackie Weaver support.
Willie and friends would become Raphael and friends for a day.
That's a good idea.
That is a good one.
General 1 to mods only. I think we've done that, but with General 4, which was at that point, I think General 9. Oh, I like the next one.
Yes,
The naughty list.
the naughty list. Naughty has a different connotation in America than it does in Britain. And so naughty has a much more like dirty connotation with American English. With British English, it's more like cheeky, I think.
Communist celery and pizza will be changed to food.
Yep.
Would probably make more sense.
It would. And we've had some comments that sometimes our channel names are just a little bit too much.
Insiderish. Yeah. All channels. Oh, I know why you picked this. All channels to Rachel, pizza, cookies, or a combination of them.
All things that are fantastic.
And we have a joker. I know this isn't what you're asking for, but I would change Nickelodeon to Icky Nicky.
Yes. We actually had a few people who went for like TV channels and stuff like that. But that was the best one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And because I was the one that did the analysis, you only get my opinion.
But most people won't know this. I jokingly, after April 1st, changed the super secret mod chat to super secret mob chat. And then
now
other people have slowly started to change it. And I only changed one word.
So it is currently Soup Secrete Mop Chant. Is Chip from Kensington?
Definitely, yes. It looks like Chip, she went and did the census 37 times just to say, stop telling people I'm from Kensington.
This is so UK centric. Like, I know Kensington exists, but I have no concept of like where it is. So I had a few different ways that I did this. So
I can see it.
So the question, it was a checkbox thing, and so you could checkbox multiple options.
Yes.
So I have a graph with the number of people who have like the entire response, and then I also broke it up into like each of the individual responses as well. Like we had 136 board game lovers, but we also had a total of 45 people who liked board games, mobile games, tabletop games, and video games. So
aren't you glad that we didn't do this as an open response?
yes. Although the checkboxes might be my second least favorite.
Good.
How would you rather respond if you were complimented?
Okay, I am so glad that most people are like me and just put awkward silence, because I never know what to say.
In Minnesota, if you compliment a Midwesterner or Minnesotan on something that they're wearing or that they own, their response is going to be, "Thank you. I'm going to tell you what a good deal I got on this."
Or would they also like there's this meme like, oh, that's a nice dress. Yes, thank you. It has pockets.
My general response is to compliment the person back. I like that
Mhm.
we have a lot of people who say "you too," though, like, or "no you." I like it. Although I like the "you too"
Mhm.
better because take the compliment, people. You guys are worthy of compliments. How many
How
rubber
many rubber
ducks
ducks do you own? And I'm very disappointed that like 94 people have no rubber ducks.
That is very disappointing.
Oh, get a rubber duck. You don't even need to have a bath, people. You can put them next to the shower. You can put them like on the sink or somewhere. I don't know. At least some people own one rubber duck.
Yep.
And there are like 24 people who have more than 10. So I'm
Yeah.
currently thinking how many I have. So I've got one from the London Olympics. I've got a Doctor Who one. I've got a gardener one. They're like a IKEA shark. They will bring you happiness.
Mushrooms on pizza.
Okay, so we have 4 people who are allergic to mushrooms. Good for you. Good excuse.
Yep.
Some people are with me, the 47 people, and I think mushrooms are evil. Mushrooms are evil. Fact. Next slide.
There's a lot of people, and I think that they're wrong, that think that mushrooms are good and belong on pizza. Mushrooms don't belong on pizza because the moment that you cook a mushroom, it turns into this terrible substance that has a terrible texture.
They move and pollinate or whatever they do with spores. They grow on dead things, and also they are neither animal nor plant.
They're
So
fungi.
they're so weird. They're probably from outer space.
We will not give you mushrooms.
Good.
What's your favorite snack to share? So the first one is goldfish, the fish, not the cracker.
Oh, I did not see that part. I just saw goldfish.
Yep. But the next one is goldfish crackers because they smile back.
Some people don't share. That's a lot of people.
Yep.
Mushrooms. Ugh.
We had a lot of people who were hissing and growling at us.
Yeah.
A lot. I'm
I
a
can
little
understand.
worried. I'm a little worried. And someone's going to
Sorry,
share that
people.
sulfuric acid from before.
Yes, that's good.
That causes death in excessive quantities.
Probably the same person who's into true crime.
Yep, probably.
Would you rather have a raccoon body and human legs, or a human body and raccoon legs? So this you have to picture really in your head before you answer this. So you want a raccoon body, and then you have giant human legs, or you have the human-sized body and then tiny little raccoon legs. What would you like?
The raccoon legs would not be able to support a human torso.
Yes, that's what I figured. That's just the best part to do.
Yeah.
Because you can still move around, and you have the advantage over the other raccoons of just having these really good human legs that are probably a bit stronger than the raccoon legs.
Yeah. Would you never give Nerdfighteria up or let us down? I appreciate that everyone said pretty much that, nor would I run around and desert you. Are you hungry?
Moving on. Once music composing AIs become advanced enough, will they introduce canons into their pieces? There is a very weird musical piece, I think it was Bach or Mozart, one of them decided to add canons to the music.
Oh, so you mean like not like a musical cannon?
No. It's a fire cannon, like a weapon. But I mean, 37 people were also really confused, so
yep.
I think this is an Apple question.
He's been less active now that he is busy being a college or a university student. Stop being responsible and come hang out with us more. Okay, which server member is the most edible?
Yeah, we have this discussion a lot because some of our members are named after food or have the nickname, which is like a food. So some people say eating people is illegal and rude, but since you're asking pancakes.
Yes.
We're not supposed to eat server members because Emmy told us not to. She didn't quite say we're not allowed to eat people, but like if it's spelled with a big capital letter, then it's a person, then we're not allowed to eat them.
And apparently whoever or whomever is reading this, they want to eat. So
I've been thrown into lava. My shoe has been thrown into lava.
Yep.
What else? Oh, I'm a banned musical instrument, and now somebody wants to eat me.
What is a nerd? Wrong answers only. And
yes, and then somebody put what a great person put.
Oh, multiple
wrong
people did
answers
this.
Only.
Multiple people did it.
So good.
And it was so wonderful.
Genius.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. A group of animals, often ungulates. And do you know
what's an ungulate?
An ungulate, they're hooved animals, essentially. So your horses, your moose, your giraffes.
Nerds are mystical beings which do not exist in real life. However, a nerd would, if they were to exist, be the most cursed, chaotic, beautiful thing anyone could ever think of. And I think that's probably the right answer, so it shouldn't be here.
The Northeast Rhine district, Nerd, just north of Essen, Germany.
Yes, because we have a town called Food. So we also nerds are a piece of land that accidentally dropped out of a pocket and onto a salad bar. How high are these people's pockets that it can fall into the salad bar?
Do you not have pockets on like shirts and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. Oh, that's a good one. Baby, don't nerd me no more.
Yes. But you missed the one before it, which I really like. Nerds are folds, tucks coming to a point, and sewn into fabric to take in ease and provide shape to a garment.
We also have an amphibian with strong opinions on whether strawberries are alive. Strawberries, well, they were plant. All plants are alive, so...
Yep.
And of course, a type of bird.
Yes.
We have multiple nerds, which are birds, so it shouldn't be here.
It shouldn't be here. You are being held by a strange duck in the basement of a chain hotel without knowledge of the management. Like, are you being held without knowledge of the management? Or...
Yeah, they don't know you're there.
Okay. They are demanding you reveal the position of your shark.
Lauhai?
Yep. Do you?
This is a
apple.
Those text adventures.
A lot of people said what?
Or they crack softly.
Loudly.
And then note down. Then you have to note down that you cracked on your character sheet and turn to page 20.
Yes. More people quacks loudly.
I mean, I can understand people prefer quacking loudly because that's more. It's more comforting.
And then 18 of you are going to lie. Hopefully your persuasion skill is over 10.
Only 9 people would answer truthfully. Now, these 9 people should not have their own IKEA shark because they would just give them up when a weird duck holds them as a hostage.
I feel like I could take on a duck.
Rachel, it's a strange duck.
Like, I could tell them, like, my IKEA shark is in my bedroom, but what you gonna do about it, punk? Have you heard of these new things? I just discovered them.
Luckily, I already explained this joke. Most people got it. Yes. Reminds me of is the correct answer. No. Where have you been? Yes. It's acceptable, but you should have answered reminds me of. Also, when I say you're answering wrong, it's obviously just a joke.
Okay, so this question I read 3 different ways. So I read it as, what problem would you like to fix with a fish? As in a problem that you would like to use a fish to fix. As in a problem you would like to fix alongside a fish. With
the companionship of a fish.
As in, what is a fish problem you would like to fix? Like, what is a problem with fish that you would like to fix?
The first one is what we were looking for because Toaster always says, put a fish on it. Someone is actually trying to, Brexit. Yeah.
Someone wants to fix boring lakes, which I think that boring lakes can definitely be fixed with fish.
Somebody else read it like they want to fix this problem upon a fish or something.
Yeah, a problem with a fish.
So they can't go on land. Do they need to be on land?
And some fish can go on land.
I just want to put out this before I forget that there is no such thing as a fish. The other thing someone wants to fix is that they're too quiet. They don't make any noise. I know that there are fish that make noises. The herring actually communicates while farting.
This next person read this as a problem that you would solve using a fish. So they're going to feed a seal or a penguin.
I have always wanted to feed a penguin. Someone else wants to fix hunger. Makes sense because you can eat fish.
Yep. And they said like the Bible because the loaves and
Yeah.
the fishes. Someone feels that the problem with fish is that they can't speak German.
I can't speak any other language.
Yeah, they can't speak any language.
And also,
yes,
my ex having a fishless front yard.
then that's fantastic.
We'll make the yard into a big giant tank.
Yes.
And then put the fish in it.
Well, I like the multiple tanks thing because then they have to figure out what in the world they're going to do with all of these fish in multiple tanks. Like, you can get rid of the fish, but then you still have these tanks. Favorite medium title with In Your Pants? Go.
So it's not just books, because it's supposed to be only with books.
Okay, so medium confused a lot of people. A lot of people were like, so you want a medium length title? You want titles about psychics?
As You Like It in Your Pants.
Medical office procedures in your pants.
The Rise of Skywalker in your pants.
We had a lot of people say an absolutely remarkable thing in your pants, which actually is a really good in your pants.
I think Hank picked his title so it would work with the joke. Coping with Emotions and Otters in Your Pants.
I want to know if this is a real thing. And then someone wanted to know how long this census is. To be fair, we are on question 49. That about this point, when I was making the slides, I was thinking the same exact thing.
Just an update. The book Coping with Emotions and Otters exists.
It does. What is your favorite moment of this year?
Oh, that was so confusing.
It was very confusing.
You should have put the year.
We had a lot of people who were thinking, well, I already answered this.
As a defense, I will remind you that all the mistakes that are in here are the fault of the mods who didn't check the census. Meeting an old friend.
Yep,
good
meeting
one.
An old friend. Someone got cats. So I'm assuming multiple cats. That's always an awesome thing.
Oh, well, Rachel got engaged.
Yep. Huh. Yeah, thank you, everyone. It was one of my favorite moments of 2020.
I just want to remind you that if Mark hadn't, popped a question, we would have asked. This morning, my cat snuggled up on my leg, and it was the cutest thing I ever experienced.
That is the cutest thing. Swing dancing during a power outage. That is a fantastic thing to do in a power outage.
It's hardly been a month yet, but probably the snow flurry from last week. You are about to hear a knock-knock joke. How would you respond? Knock, knock.
Come in. Or
yeah, that's not popular.
Yeah, duck off.
Mm-hmm.
And who's there? Which is the proper response, but...
Well, some people like, to participate in the joke. Some people like to be mean and say, come in. Yep. And the duck off people I can also understand, because I don't like people at least ringing on a doorbell.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow who?
Es lohnt sich Deutsch zu lernen. How is my German?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Perfect.
Oh, that's good.
Perfect.
Uh-huh. Es lohnt sich Deutsch zu lernen.
I just looked what that means on Google.
It's just our normal, I have no idea what you want from me sound. So.
Yeah, there were 56 people who said ja, which means yes. 34.
Und 34 Leute haben nein gesagt.
Yep. Und 26, ich weiß meinen Nummern, something like that. Sagt wie bitte.
So for the people who don't know, wie bitte means excuse me, kind of. That's what you're supposed to say, but most people who are like not really paying attention or are like a bit informal, you just say was, so what?
Yeah.
But the main thing which you have to remember is just learn German. What does one do with one's hand while standing idly? Pockets do not exist in this situation.
Oh, so it must be women's pants or a dress.
Or someone is not wearing pants. 49 people were like, something normal people do.
Please inform us.
Well, this is for the people who like, don't have problems with social things. They were like, oh, I'll just do what the normal people do.
Please tell me what that is, because yeah. What's normal?
Yeah, I mean, that's what most people said they don't know.
I probably fall into the 90 category of, for the love of God, I don't know.
So 47 people were like, they just let him hang awkwardly to the side, so they just have their arms loose by the side.
I don't know if that's actually necessarily awkward.
What I tend to do when I'm nervous in front of a group, I always have both hands behind my back, except when I'm holding something.
This is the silly census. We're supposed to be silly.
Sorry. Okay, the correct thing, what you're supposed to do is start Juggling.
Is stabbing just aggressive poking? So I have the ones here, but then I also have some longer ones that I will read that are in the notes. Because Apple said I had to read them. At its most basic, stabbing is aggressive poking. The concept of poking is the overstepping of the average person's personal space. In the same way, stabbing is also considered an intrusion of one's personal space. However, the intention of the stab or poke and who attempts to do such an act changes the context and reaction of the person being poked. For example, if a friend boops one on the nose, the intention is one of affection or camaraderie. One may find it easier to find the humor and positivity in the situation. Yet, if a stranger were to do so, the intention may not be as pure and might be cause for alarm from the booped. Furthermore, if a stranger were to boop one aggressively with a sharp object in one's eyes or nose, the intention immediately becomes harmful and overly destructive. It is the same action as the previous two examples, but these repercussions are more damaging to one's mental and physical state. Therefore, due to the similarity in action but changes in overall context, stabbing is just aggressive poking. In this essay, I will analyze both sides of the argument and make reference to popular and unpopular views found in this debate. UWU. To fully answer this question, we must first define both stabbing and poking. Stabbing, in my opinion, is the penetration of a sharp inorganic foreign object into one's body. Poking is usually done with a finger. So, okay, pause. Icicles are organic. And you can stab someone with an icicle.
Or with a sharpened stick.
Yes, also organic. Anywho, okay, poking is usually done with a finger and consists of applying a low pressure to any body. On the one hand, some may argue that stabbing is aggressive poking, as the definitions may broadly overlap. These people argue that the application of pressure is the defining characteristic of both verbs in question. This line of thought, if tread recklessly, can lead down a dangerous path. Asterisk 1, so they have footnotes. We'll come back to that later. Others argue that they are inherently different. The intent of a poke and a stab are often at odds. Even the words indicate this. Poke is of Anglo-Norman origin, deriving from Old French. Whilst this echoes brutal conquest, it is not, as that would make this paragraph less good. The origin of stab is unknown and appears to come from Middle English. These opposite origin stories point to different eras and peoples, showing that they are indeed different. An often overlooked argument in the literature surrounding this debate is as follows. One can poke aggressively whilst not stabbing. Let me explain. If I were to rapidly poke an individual, asterisk 2, more footnotes, we'll come to those later, and do so with an angry face and exerting a large force, that would very rarely be considered stabbing. In fact, in all of my research of legal sources, I have yet to find an incident of such a stab. If the reader knows one, please to contact me. Overall, I believe stabbing cannot be reduced to aggressive poking. This view is not only dangerously reductionist, it is also actively harmful and can be blamed for the recent rise of right-wing populism. Please poke aggressively, don't stab. Footnote 1, I am not joking, please don't fall into this rabbit hole. And then footnote number 2 was, consent is recommended for this experiment. This is the last one, and then we just have a bunch of gifts. Okay, so got any good hug gifts for us to add to hug? So a lot of you said no. No, but I've got hugs to share to you for making and maintaining the survey. Thank you for this year. Here's to many more. That's very sweet.
Oh.
Yes, someone said more dragons. I feel like that's sup. That has been the silly server analysis. How do we end these things?
No. What do you say? Thumbs up and subscribe.
And DFTBA.